Can you hear me?
I can. Hey, what's up, man?
Let me uh let me switch to my let's see if it finds these AirPods. I just tried my other AirPods and they're dead. So I
Oh,
got these
bummer.
on. There we go.
Sweet. Well, I'm excited to get the chance to talk to you this week, not only because you guys are coming to Mount Pleasant to play the Soaring Eagle again in about a month with Mötley Crüe, but I don't know if you know this, but Saginaw, Michigan right now is sort of the epicenter of the junior hockey CHL world because we're hosting the Memorial Cup right now, like a couple of miles down the road here at the Dow Events Center. And we have seen an influx of Canadians in this area.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I did what I see Poland scored their first goal ever or something.
Well, this is
Remember?
Memorial Cup. This is the London Knights and Moose Jaw
Oh,
and
this is yeah, right.
CHL.
The
Yeah, it's only
world the
been in the
world.
States like two other times, and we've got it here right now.
That's pretty cool. Memorial Cup, that's a big one. That's the one.
I was gonna say, I mean, growing up in Canada, we hear because we don't see this sort of thing very often. It's only been in the States a couple of times. We don't really understand just how big the Memorial Cup and how big sort of junior hockey CHL is in Canada. So I'm wondering, you as a native Canadian, can you just sort of explain why is it such a big deal, the Memorial Cup? I mean, obviously Stanley is number one, but the Memorial Cup is a really
Yeah.
big deal.
I think it's kind of like, growing up in Canada, we were always baffled by how huge college sports were in the States. So like especially football. And then you have like March Madness. So you've got like these basketball and football is massive, like 100,000 people go watch a football game. You're like, huh? So we don't really have that in Canada at all, like zilch. But I guess for hockey, anything with hockey is big. So whether it's junior or OHL or yeah, any minor league stuff, it's we definitely go gung ho for anything hockey. And then of course NHL, right?
Now, growing up, were there hockey aspirations for Tyler, or was it music? Were you not athletic? Was it music all the way, or were you? Does every Canadian have those sort of hockey aspirations?
Yeah, I would say so. I am non-athletic. I did not play hockey when I was a kid. All my friends did. They all go to their house to play, and they all had the huge hockey bags, and all their stuff would be drying, their gloves and stuff. And I always asked my mom to play hockey, and she said, "No, it's you'll grow out of it too fast. We have to keep buying equipment." And I'm like, "Man." So no, I was always music, but I mean, we played road hockey, the stereotypical car. You put the nets up, and the car would come and move. That all happened. We usually would find a parking lot and then play street hockey, and it would be just like you would imagine it. We would have like I would play goalie, and we would have like pieces of foam, and you would just tape them to your legs, and that would be like the pads, and you'd have like a just a baseball glove, and you wouldn't even wear a mask. Yeah, it's and we just have like super blades, those plastic ones you could bend. So yeah, we all played hockey as Canadians. Everyone did. Just not some of us, like myself, weren't very good.
That could have been. I mean, seeing where you're at now, doing music videos and stuff, that whole not wearing a mask thing could have came back to bite you in the ass at some point.
Yeah, that's right. I could have easily got some scars, but yeah, I lucked out.
Yeah, things worked out for you guys. I mean, yourself, Dean, Dave, you guys have been at it for 25 years at this point, and this lineup's been 15 years. In terms of accomplishments for Theory of a Deadman, where does that sort of longevity, just having the core lineup and you four dudes together for now a decade plus, and you, Dean, and Dave being together for so long, where does that rank in terms of accomplishments?
It's pretty high. Like as we get older and we start having chronic pains like plantar fasciitis or like sore backs, we go, man, we've been doing this a long time. And then we look at bands like Mötley Crüe and go, okay, they've been doing it even longer. So it actually kind of inspires us to know that we can do this for a long time, I guess, as long as we want. But we're not slowing down. Like we don't really feel like, well, we should take a break. Or it's funny, I have friends that'll ask me, like, well, you ever going to retire? When are you going to retire? I'm like, retire? Dude, I don't have a job. retire, retire from what? Playing on stage? I'm like, come on, man, I'm Peter Pan. Like this is kind of a bit of a joke. Look what I get to do. No, there's no retiring. You just do this like Sammy Hagar, another great example. It's just
Yeah, right.
he'll never stop.
Right.
It's awesome. I just love it.
I mean, you guys don't. I mean, you guys don't take time off really ever. Maybe 6 months here and there. I mean, I know within ending Rock Resurrection and then the dates you've got coming up, you had one show in Niagara, and that was basically it. What's the longest you've taken off in this 25 years?
Oh, it would have been COVID. It was like a
Yeah.
year and a half. That sucked. We were definitely itching to play, but it was more like I think you had this sense of like, what am I? If I can't play music, I'm not really good doing unless go play hockey. Like we didn't really felt like what am I doing? Like I don't know what I can. I guess I can do laundry. Like this is weird. It felt really weird. It felt like I didn't have a place in the world. I was just like, if I can't do this, I don't know what else I could do. So yeah, there was some weird moments there. I think we all went through the weirdness of it, but that was the longest for sure.
Now, I know your eighth studio album, Dinosaur, that's been out for over a year. You guys have consistently dropped a new album every 3 years since your debut. So I imagine that you guys have sort of started tinkering around, messing around with what could be the next album.
Oh yeah, I think we want to go in September, October, start recording. So this one will come out next year. So it'll be only 2 years. It'll be the first record ever that we put out, and I think that's the way it's going. Like we've had discussions about maybe just putting out singles, EPs. No, you're not doing a full record, but it's tough. Like you got 12 songs, you're like, let's just record them all. Let's just, I don't know. So we'll maybe get there, but we'll see. I think the next one will be a full length at this point, and it'll come out next year. So there's no stopping. There's not a lot of rest.
Yeah, right. And I know, I mean, a lot has changed in the 25 years since you guys sort of started with. I mean, there are bands now that they do singles, and then at some point they compile them all together on an album. I know Falling in Reverse is doing something like that. Bring Me the Horizon just dropped their album, which has a bunch of songs they put out now. Things are vastly different in the last couple of decades than when you guys, put out your first album.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really more and more exponentially leaning towards the artist having control, which is unbelievably amazing. Like people ask me, like, are you guys excited about that? Are you nervous? I'm like, no, it's so exciting. Like, wow. Like being able to have the option of saying, you know what, let's put out a cover album. Let's put out like 3 songs. Let's do a country record. Let's do ballads or acoustic. We can do anything we want, where before it was just like it was to a grid and we did what we were told to do. And so, yeah, no, there's this massive feeling of freedom that going forward and I think even on labels, they're giving a lot more power to the artist to just be like, you know what, just keep putting out content, just keep putting it out. So I love that.
When it comes to this next album, and that freedom that you're going to have now, or that you do have now, what's sort of the most exciting thing that you guys are looking forward to being able to do that maybe you haven't been able to do in the past?
That's a good question. I mean, I think just being able to, if we have an idea, we can actually try it, go for it, rather than being like, man, they'll never go for that. Now, you know, like we were planning, we're going to put together an unplugged tour for the fall in the States, and I think January for Canada. So that's going to be really good. We're already really excited about that. So we were talking about doing a song for the tour, which could be something we would never be able to do 5 years ago. So, and it'll just be something, be really fun. So yeah, I mean, it just seems like it's getting funner and funner.
Now, people made a big deal about how Dinosaur felt like sort of a return to early theory when it comes to writing a record, to recording a record. Do you guys make those sort of conscious decisions like, here's where we want to go, here's what we want to do? Or does the songwriting sort of dictate, you know what, we've gone heavier on this one, maybe the next one not so much? Do you guys make those sort of conscious decisions in terms of where a record is heading and where the sound of the band is going?
Yes and no. Like the songs do dictate. Unfortunately, you can't really force. I've never forced a song ever. If I try, it never works. It's funny because I'll actually try to write like something, and it's like, this just doesn't feel right. It's like, yeah, because you're forcing it. If you're writing a ballad, you got to write a ballad, man. But at the same time, we do A&R our own stuff. We do sit down and go like, what do we need to do? Like, you know, what would be good now? What is the next adventure for Theory of a Deadman? Like, what is? So there is a bit of A&Ring where you do kind of put stuff together purposefully. So this next record, it's interesting. I'm excited for people to hear some of these songs because they are a lot like stuff of off of our earlier records, like our Gasoline and Scars Souvenirs. There's more of a Southern rock stuff back to that kind of style, a lot more of the instrumentation that we used to do. So when once you have a few songs that have that, like have more slide guitar or more of that feel, and all of a sudden you start A&Ring. So you start going like, okay, we need a couple more of these. We need another heavy song that has this like slide kind of riff on it. So it's fun.
Yeah, speaking of music, you actually recently guested on a song from Peyton Parrish. They just dropped the music video for that recently. You also did a song with Sophie Lloyd last year. How do those sort of guest appearances happen? That's not something you've done a ton of over the years. How does that stuff sort of happen? Is it just you have time to do it? Do they approach you? How does this all happen?
Yeah, I get asked quite a bit to do features. It just unfortunately it's there's logistically sometimes like, well, we can't because we have a single coming out. Uh, so it's unfortunate, but yeah, I get asked quite a bit. But the Sophie Lloyd thing was she's an amazing guitar player. She got the gig with Machine Gun Kelly, which was awesome. But she just DM'd me, I think. No, I think they emailed me. Someone emailed me and then asked if I would. She was putting together a record just with her favorite singers, and I was like, wow, okay, cool. So yeah, we just wrote that song and then put out that album, which was awesome. It had a bunch of friends on it. Lizzie was on there, and Chris from Blackstone. So it was cool, like seeing a bunch of friends be on that. And then yeah, I did a thing with Corey Marks. I think it was kind of COVID, to be honest. I think everyone was sitting at home going, maybe we should just call up people and just all sing on stuff. Yeah, and then the Payne Parrish thing, same thing. He reached out. He was a fan, and yeah, he does some. His voice is really cool. He does a lot of cool stuff. Uh, I think it was he did a cover of All or Nothing that we did, and I think we reposted it on TikTok. And yeah, he's got a ton of followers. Like people love him. So yeah, he hit me up and said, "Hey, you want to do something together? You want to sing on something?" I'm like, "100%, let's go." So I love it. I really enjoy the feature stuff. It's kind of gets me out of Theory of a Deadman for a little bit, but yeah, you have to strategically do it when we're not kind of in cycle, right?
How weird is it doing the music video with Peyton and not seeing the other Theory guys there? Like you're not flagged by the other two, and Joey's not in the back. Is that odd?
Yeah, it's if people ask me like, would you ever do like a solo thing? And I'm like, no, it's just theory. This is it. It's Theory of a Deadman. But yeah, it's weird. It's honestly, it's the camaraderie. You're like, I love just doing video shoots because we know we're all kind of there. We have to get through it. It can be boring sometimes. So you make a bunch of jokes, you goof around. So it was Peyton was such a cool guy. So it was nice hanging out with him and shooting a video with him.
Well, we got you guys coming back to the Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort playing the outdoor amphitheater this time around. Last time you were at the Soaring Eagle, you were indoors with the Rock Resurrection Tour. I just talked to Sully from Godsmack a couple of weeks ago. I think they were one of the first bands to do both. You may be the second band to do both indoor and outdoor at the Soaring Eagle. And the Rock Resurrection Tour was huge for you guys. Ended up doing a couple of legs of it, and you guys raised over 70 grand for St. Jude's and the Alzheimer's Association. Why was it so important for you guys to give back like that following that tour?
So that's Plus One. They're an organization that takes it's $1 from every ticket, and then you can choose what you want to donate the money to. So we've done quite a few. We started with like Habitat for Humanity, so we actually raised some money. Then we went out and built some houses, which was great. I mean, it was funny because like Joe was literally tiling a floor, and he's like, he's like literally like they just go like, okay, go to work, and we're like hammering up walls and stuff. It was awesome. But it was great, actually. We got to meet the people we were building the house for. So it just feels good to give back because we have the opportunity to do it. So Plus One's been great over the years. Yeah, Alzheimer's, St. Jude's. We've done some stuff with the domestic violence. We raised some money for a couple of no-kill shelters in the United States last year with the first Rock Resurrection. Raised some money for that. It's just great. If you can help, help. So obviously the fans are doing that. So and it's whether they like it or not. So thank you, fans.
Right. What happens if the Habitat for Humanity people, what happens if they have an issue with their home that is like the result of your work? Do you have to go back and fix it?
That that would be awesome, Tyler. I'm sorry, you're gonna have to drive down to yeah, this house because it looks like they have a leaky toilet. I would go. I would do it.
That'd be
Yeah.
incredible.
No, they have contractors there. They give us like jobs that they know, like even if you don't do it well, it's not going to mess with the integrity of the structure. Like it's not like we're putting up, you know, walls, studs and stuff. Like they'll make us hammer in some drywall or something. So they kind of let us do it, and then we leave. I think they fix it.
And they don't tell you. Everybody's like, "Oh, you
Yeah,
did a
you
great
great
job."
job. Look at that house. We're like, wait a minute, this doesn't look.
It's not what I did.
Yeah.
So you guys do the Rock Resurrection tour. You take some time off. How long after the Rock Resurrection tour wraps up? How long does it take for you to get that itch to get back out on the road? Is it an immediate thing? Is it after a couple of weeks, a couple of months? When are you like, all right, let's get back out there?
It's a few weeks. Yeah, it's a dichotomous life. So it's you're around people all the time. So when you're on tour, you live on a tour bus. Uh, so you're around people, and then you get up. You're around people all the time. So sometimes the only time off you have is on a day off. You just go to your hotel room and you don't communicate with people. So it's nice after like an 8 week tour to go home and be like, "See you later. Don't call me." Right? Uh, and then after like 3 weeks, you're like, "I miss it. Okay, I've mowed the lawn. Okay, I've done some painting. There's nothing else to do. So you're like, yeah, it's about 3 weeks, and then you're just getting the itch to get back and play shows and see one another.
As you get older, do you find yourself wanting to be off the road more, or is it still the same as it was when you guys started?
For me, no. I like touring more now than ever. I think, to be honest, like it is the luxury of it. Like we're not in a van. Like I can understand it's difficult for some bands, and we've seen bands come out on tour with us. And at the beginning of the tour, they're all this energy, and they come in and they're wearing all their what they're going to wear on stage. Like we're so excited for this tour. We're like, yeah, it's going to be great, guys. And they're in a van, and we're like, and then at the end of the tour, you see them, and the drummers quit, and they're just like, "Hey," and we're like, "Man, I'm so sorry," because it's not. It's so much work. I've you know, I empathize for bands that getting out there and grinding it out. And we've had bands where like the trailers broke, so we're like, guys, and we've taken all of the gear and we transport it for them and stuff because we get it. So it's a lot easier to tour for us now. Like it's very luxurious in comparison to what it could be. So yeah, I do enjoy going and doing the shows for that, and it's just I just love to perform.
When you guys play with Mötley Crüe this summer, that show June 23rd at the Soaring Eagle, it'll be a reunion of sorts because you were a part of, I believe, Crüe Fest 2 back in 2009. Do you remember those first few shows and meeting those guys for the first time? Mötley Crüe just has sort of this aura about them that they're on another level when it comes to being a rock star. When you watch the movie and you hear the stories and stuff, what's it like hanging out, meeting those dudes, and going out on the road with Mötley Crüe, even in 2009?
I mean, we did two tours with them, kind of back to back. Saints of Los Angeles tour it was us and Hinder, and that was the first time we met them. Um, and they were great. They were just so personable. I mean, any of the guys you go up and talk to, yeah, they were rock stars. I mean, they were the epitome of rock stars. So for us, like we were like, this is kind of crazy. And the show was the hugest show you could ever see. Like it was just like their set was amazing. It started like Dr. Feelgood in this padded room that was really small, and then it would open up. It blew our minds. But I became really good friends with all those guys, especially Mick. To be honest, like Nicky, what an awesome dude. He let me co-host his radio show a couple times. But Mick is just such a great dude. I love Mick, and I'm friends with John. Five too, so it'd be good to see him. So yeah, we're super excited to get back out there and watch the show, but just be able to say hi, what's up.
Is there a different vibe when you share a stage with a band like a Mötley Crüe, where I mean it's a band that has been around for so long, and like you said, the show is just totally different than anything you experience. Is there just a different feel to it, like even backstage when you play a show like that?
Yeah, there's a definite energy. Like we're all really looking forward to that show. Like we weren't able to make it work. Like it's a day after another show in another state, and we're like, we can't make it work. And I'm like, we're gonna make it work. We're doing it. So we're like, our tour manager's like, we might have to get a private jet, like we have to fly in the day of. I'm like, we're gonna make it work because the show to us is like, we're almost like we're fans. So we're gonna go to the show because we want to watch the show. So yeah, there's a different energy for sure. Like not to say that our own shows aren't great, but yeah, when you open for the Crüe, it's like I'm really looking forward to that one.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. That show's coming up on June 23rd, a Sunday night at the Soaring Eagle, and then you guys have hit and miss dates sort of this summer. It is a tour, but it's a date here, a festival here, a headlining show there. It's not like a really full blown tour for you guys.
No, let's just say I will be getting my elite status on the air on United this year. But I think I have 45 flights or something this summer. It's going to be nuts. But we've done it before. It's fine. We travel for a living, so yeah, it's all fly dates. So yikes, but I'm looking forward to it.
Well, knock on whatever that the plane issues that they're having are not a concern for somebody who has 45 flights booked.
Yeah, well, being a guy that's flown a lot, I don't worry about. I've done my research on how planes work and how lift works. I think we'll be fine.
All
Yeah.
right, good.
Helicopters, no thanks.
Yeah, hard pass on that, no doubt. I know you mentioned the possibility of an acoustic tour and all that, but I assume that within the next year or so, your guys are going to be back in the studio, writing, recording, and we'll have, as you mentioned, the new record next year.
Yeah, I would say next spring we'll have some new music out. Definitely before June. I think our June is our date to have get back out there. So, and then go out on another big tour, maybe another Rock Resurrection tour, part 3. I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, it was a huge success and people loved it, so it'd be awesome to see that back out again, man.
Yeah, totally.
Well, I appreciate you taking a few minutes. We're looking forward to seeing you here back at the Soaring Eagle on June 23rd with the Crüe. Hopefully everybody goes and gets their tickets and enjoy your little bit of time off here, and we'll see you in a few weeks.
Thank you so much. Yes. Yeah, 3 weeks. Oh, my God.
It's coming up quick, man.
Awesome.
Cool. Thank you, Tyler.
You got it. See you
right.
later.
See you, man.
Bye.